Hello there everyone, so in today's video I'm going to be swatching my Copics because I've had them for quite a while, but I haven't actually got around to making a swatch card yet, so I thought we might as well do that together. And I've got my swatch card ready here, so I already printed it off, and I printed it off on the paper that I normally use for my Copics just to make sure it obviously shows up the right colours in that. So this is what I'm going to be basically colouring in, you could say, but I'm just going to get my background ready to protect my desk so I don't get colours all over that, and we're just gonna crack on. So I have two sets of the big sets of Copics, the A and the B. I'm hoping to get all of them at some point, but obviously it takes a little bit of time to build up that collection. So what I do is I store my Copics in a little acrylic kind of case, and I have them sorted by colour families, more or less the rainbow. So I'm starting from the reds and pinks. Gonna kind of just start with that group because I don't want to mess up my system too much and have to reorganize it because I'm quite happy with how it is. Now there is an issue I'm a little bit unsure of how to deal with when I get to the dark colors, especially the grays and the blacks, and obviously filling this in, I'm not entirely sure what to do because obviously that will kind of cover up the numbers on here in a sense of then you can't really reference it. So I have a couple of things that I might use or try and use, some white gel pens and a white colored pencils, just to see if maybe once I color in and then I can write on top of it and if that'll be good enough. I hope so, otherwise I'm not really sure how to deal with that problem, but anyway, we'll try that when we get to it. So let's crack on, shall we? And like I said, we're going to start with the reds. I'm just starting from one end. So obviously this isn't red, but kind of red and pink ones. This is very light, pretty much skin tone, I would say. What is this? Powder pink, so it's got pink in the name. YR00. So let's find that first of all. So all the way up here. Let's double check because I don't want to mess it up. YR00. Fill in that box. And these little squares within each one is, I'm pretty sure if you have a refill, yeah, you can tick it off if you have a refill. I don't have any refills at all. That is also something I'm hoping to build up because I do have one or two colors that actually haven't worked from the beginning. Should just put them to the other side. Otherwise, I'll get all mixed up. Where they're kind of like almost a bit dried out, so I haven't actually been able to use them at all. Anyway, what is this? R32 going down. R32. This is probably going to take way longer than it needs to because I'm going to be double or triple checking all of them just to make sure, and I could very well still mess up. It wouldn't surprise me. Fruit pink E02. Where is that? All the way over here. Also quite skin color like. Next, got pink. So RV11. It's on this side. RV11. I see that there. Next we have light pink, RV21. So moving down a bit, double check, RV21. Next we have blush R20, so just the R, so that's going to be over here. Now I did just find this Copic chart here online, but I just found one and then printed it off, like I said, on the actual paper I use when I do Copic art. E04 Lipstick Natural, E04, I think that was over here, the E's weren't there, E04. And also for reference, I've printed this off on a laser printer and it appears to be working fine with the markers, so not smearing anything, so that is nice to know. Then we have Cerise RV06, so we're jumping back between the RVs and the E's mostly. What did I say? RV06. 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 Double check. Yes. This looks, oh yeah, this is very bright. Almost like a neon pink. I love bright colours. Well, I love any colour really. Next we have Carmine R37. I'm going to say 36 there. R37. Yeah, now I'm confusing myself. Now we're getting a little bit more towards the reds, like a pinky red. And then we have Fuchsia RV09. Back over here. RV09. It's also very bright. Just a slightly different tone than the RV06 above it. We have Crimson RV29. Now this is what confuses me a little bit, like with these charts and obviously the numbers on the Copics, because I know what the different numbers and letters stand for. It explains it on here as well. But what just confuses me is that you got, for instance, the RV29 and RV25 above it. But what about the numbers in between? I'm surprised there's like gaps between the numbers. You'd have thought they would maybe use all the numbers in between, but what do I know? I'm sure there's a reason for that. And we have dark pink RV37. It's a nice one there as well. RV04 Shock Pink. So you'd think that's also a bright one. RV04, also with it being right next to the other bright ones there. That is basically like a highlighter pink almost. Moving on to some of the more reds now. Proper reds. Prawn R24. So that's on this row. R24. Yeah, that's proper more of a proper red there. Then we have light mahogany, E20, where did I get 20 from? E07. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely mess this up at some point, aren't I? E07. Getting a little bit darker. That's definitely got a brownie tone to it. I'm guessing hence the name as well. The mahogany pat. M3 look quite nice together actually as well. Then we have R29 lipstick red. Back to the R's. What did I say? 29? Yeah, that's a nice proper red you could say. And we have cadmium red R27 right above it. It's interesting this as well when you do a chart like this. You can kind of see when you have colours right close to each other like this how some of them are really close to each other and also some of these pinks and all. But there's just slight hue differences in them and slight kind of tone variations. So that's always interesting. Next we have RV19 red violet. RV19. So these red violets are more obviously the pink, but where it's more red but with purpley undertone, violet undertone, hence the RV. We have two left in these red ones and they're a bit darker, so I'm hoping these will still show nicely. It's garnet R39, so that's downwards here. Yeah, that one still shows, that's good. Obviously there's black as well, which that one definitely won't show. I'm hoping everything else will show nicely, but I'm not so sure about some of the darks. But definitely the black obviously won't show, you assume. And the last red, it's R59 cardinal. R59, so we're working our way towards the bottom R's here. That also shows, nice. Right, so that was all the reds and pinks that I've got. Now moving on to the next color, which are the yellow and oranges. So I have them ready here. Let's put them to the left. Now these ones I'm not worried about showing up. So we're starting with Y00 barium yellow. And we're going here Y00. So it's that one. That is a very light one. Light yellow. Very delicate. Put that to the right. Y11 pale yellow. Y11. Also nice and light. But a little bit warmer than the other one there. You can see that's a bit of a cooler yellow. This one's a bit warmer. Y21 buttercup yellow. Y02 canary yellow. Oh, so that's right below the first one there. Y02. That's a little bit brighter. I would normally think that anyway with the name canary yellow. Starting to look nicer now. We're adding some different colours. Y17 golden yellow. That's what I love as well by filling something like this in. Obviously it's handier for reference, but it's also very satisfying as you're filling it in to see it getting more and more full. Now obviously it won't get full unless I have all of them, which I don't. But that's also then part of, I guess you could say, collecting them. Obviously the main part is using them, but it's still satisfying kind of filling in the whole chart. So next we have Y13 lemon yellow. Again, you could say here, those two yellows are very, very close to each other. There's just a slight difference between them. So you could always say you don't need to have all the markers, obviously. Like those two, you could just do with one of them. But obviously, it's completely personal preference. We have Y06 yellow. But I have definitely found as I've been using them recently that whenever I've used them, I always find that there's certain colours that I'm kind of like missing. So I definitely could do with getting some more. Ideally, the next one that I want is set C. And I really could do with some more purples. I don't have enough of those. One, purple's my favourite colour, but also I found that as I've been using them, there's just always a colour or something here and there that I feel like I'm missing. Not just the purples, but especially the purples. YR07 cadmium orange. YR here, 07. Y08 acid yellow, Y15 cadmium yellow, YR23 yellow ochre, rose salmon R02. So this is going a little bit more on the pinks again, but I kind of ran out of space in the red and pink one, so I kind of, some of them saying that's a little bit more orangey, so I put it with the yellows and oranges. What did I say? R02. But obviously when I get another storage thing, then that should mean I can also just organize them how I want to. YR02 light orange. But I don't really feel there's a point in doing that until I get some more copies because they do fit nicely. YR14 caramel. YR14. I think all the numbers and letters are starting to mix up in my head a little bit. I keep doubting myself. Like, was that right what I just said? It sounds wrong as I'm saying it. Anyway, almost through the yellows. We have YR04 chrome orange, definitely a nice orange one. YR09 Chinese orange. Oh, that's a nice gradient right there, just between the orange colors. And then the final one, R08 vermilion. And that is all the oranges and yellows. And now moving on to the greens, which I've got here. Got quite a few of them as well. So about the same amount as the red and pinks, I think. So I'm a little bit curious with some of these greens here because some of them get quite dark. But let's start with the light ones. So we have YG41, Pale Cobalt Green, YG41. Where are we going? YG41. It's right there. Again, that skips YG41, YG45, and YG61. That's quite a gap there. Anyway, YG41. This one actually, it's working, but it actually feels a little dry compared to the others. Not sure why, because it's not like I've used it particularly more. Not that I remember anyway. Obviously some I have used more than others, but I don't remember this necessarily being one of them. But anyway, it does work. That's the main thing. YG11, Mignonette. Okay. YG11, nice pale green. And we have G12 Sea Green. So the G's, we are going right next to it. G12. So again, the same kind of saturation, I would say, but just a slightly darker tone than the one next to it there. Then G21 Lime Green down here. Also a little bit of like a light foresty green. A bit more of a bluey one. G00 Jade Green. G00. So again, it's the double one, not the triple or the quadruple one. G00. YG13 Chartreuse. I'm really starting to like how this is looking as well. Just all the colours are nicely kind of organised and that. Very satisfying. YG07 Acid Green. So it's going to be quite a bright one, I think. 07, yes. Not quite highlighted pink. Why am I saying pink? Not quite highlighted green, but getting there. YG03 Yellow Green. G05 Emerald Green, G next to it, G05, oh, it's up here, Emerald Green. So that's going to be a nice kind of bright green, but quite saturated green. Then we have G14 Apple Green, G02 Spectrum Green, Nile Green, G07, Grass Green, YG17, so that's YG's again. G99 Olive, so G's is over here. Oh, it's the last one on this row. Getting a little bit dark now, but still fine with the number. YG95 Pale Olive, YG95. Definitely got the olive tones now. Getting through the greens, only got a few left. G16 Malachi, this is a nice one. G16, I love the actual gemstone malachite as well. It's one of my favorite. This is a lovely green. G17 Forest Green, right below it. YG67 Moss, YG back to the other row. We have 3 left of the greens, and these are quite dark, so I'm hoping that'll work out fine. G28 Ocean Green, this is still fine. Don't need to try and use the gel pen or the pencil yet. Now these ones though, G85 Verdigris. Is this gonna work? Oh, actually it's not as dark when you use it as the cap. The cap is really dark, but this is fine. The last one, G29 Pine Tree Green, G29. Again, this looks really dark on the cap. How does it look on paper? Pretty dark, but that still works. You can still see the number fine. Right, that's all the greens. Next we have the kind of blue greens and teal colors, but we're starting to go in towards the actual blues now. So I'm guessing we're going to be going towards the B's and BG's and BV's. Is it BV? Oh, that's over here. We have B00 Frost Blue. So the B row, B00, this one here, a nice kind of light blue, but still got some brightness or saturation to it. And we have BG10 Cool Shadow, BG10. BG02 New Blue. Wonder what the old blue looks like. BG02. Oh, that's quite bright. B01 Mint Blue. So B01. Oh, that's on this one here. No, it's not. It's on this one, but they start. Oh, yeah. So it's below the first one we did. Again, you can see some of these blues here that are right next to each other. They're very similar. Just a slight difference. So you probably don't really need them all, but personally, I like to have them. It's a nice option to have them all. BG11 Moon White, BG11, so we are down here. Moon White, that's a name. It's kind of a nice name. That. I'm not entirely sure if it fits the color, but it's a nice name. BG32 Aqua Mint, BG32, BG15 Aqua, BG45 Nile Blue. We had a Nile Green, didn't we? At the time I did think, like, I would have thought Nile something would be more blue than green, but we do have a Nile Blue considering it's what? Almost through these blues, but then we do have a whole other section of different shades of blue. BG13 Mint Green. Getting a couple of dark ones here at the end, but not too dark. Duck blue, BG49. Going down, here we are. This is nice. I really love this kind of colour as well. Very lovely. Last one for this batch, BG18 teal blue. A little bit darker, but not a problem. Can still see the number and the little square. So that was these blue. Moving on to the remaining blue markers I've got. So these are, you can see, much more kind of blue. Let's just grab the first one, B23 Phthalo Blue, B23. So B's here, 23. So straight away you can see that different tone to them compared to the kind of greeny blues we just did. B34 Manganese Blue, B21 Baby Blue. That's quite a fitting name, Baby Blue. We then have B12 Ice Blue, B12 like the vitamin, which I'm deficient in. B32 Pale Blue, B41 Powder Blue. It's a fitting name as well because the powder blue makes you think that's something very delicate, and it's definitely quite a delicate powdery blue. Light blue B14. It is like a lighter blue, but almost a bit more like a mid-tone one. With a name, I would think it'd be lighter than this. B02 Robin's Egg Blue. That's a nice name. B02. So going up. Getting towards a little bit darker ones now. Smoky Blue B45. So that's, I was going to say down, but no, it's actually on the next row. A smoky blue from impression of the cap. It's definitely got a little bit more of that smokiness to it, so that's pretty fitting as well. Also pretty accurate with the cap, I would say. B06 Peacock Blue. B06 Peacock Blue. That sounds like a lovely colour as well. That kind of brightness to it. Slight hint of tealiness, but not quite. We have B05 Process Blue. Not sure what that means. B24 Sky, not sky blue or anything, just sky. It's down here. You can definitely see starting to fill out them blues nicely. I do have, blue is probably what I have the most of. Obviously that's mixed with the blue-green ones. B29 Ultramarine, that is literally the last one on this row. I'm getting a little bit darker now, but still fine for the number. But we have a few quite dark ones left, especially one of them. BG09 Blue-Green. So we're going to say, I think that's going to go back on this row here. We have 4 left of the blues. B18 Lapis Lazuli, also a lovely gemstone. Antwerp Blue. Okay, B37. Let's just stick to the number. B37 up here. And we have 2 left. One of them quite dark. Let's do that last. We have Cobalt Blue. B26. Down here towards the bottom. That's not too dark. The real question is the next one here, the last one, which is B39 Prussian Blue, all the way up here. This is the one that's non-functioning. Yep, I thought it was the blues or the greens. I had one, so yeah, that's a dud. So I'm guessing it kind of was not sealed properly or something in the pack, because it's never worked from when I got it. So that one is one I'd have to get a refill for to be able to use, so maybe I should just make a note of that. Anyway, those are the blues. Then moving on to the purples, which are the ones I would say I have the least of, color family wise. So I definitely need to get more of them because, first of all, purple is my favorite color, so for that reason. But also because when I've been using them, there's several other colors that I feel like sometimes I'm kind of missing a few. But it definitely happens with the purples because with it being my favorite color, obviously I'm a bit more attracted to them. So I definitely need to get more, purples especially. Anyway, starting out with BV31 Pale Lavender. And here we are going all the way to the left. And this one is almost the bottom one. BV31. We have BV00. Hello, VV. We get a little visitor. Cuteness. BV00. Mauve Shadow. BV00 towards the top. V12 Pale Lilac. So this is definitely a little bit more on the pinker side. V04 Lilac. V04. Quite bright that. V06 Lavender. Again, them two, the one I just did and this one, quite close. This one is a little bit darker and a little bit more mauvey almost, I would say. We have V17 Amethyst. Also a beautiful gemstone. Now you would think with my favorite color being purple that amethyst would be my favorite gemstone, but for some reason it isn't. I still love it. I love every gemstone. V15 Mellow. This is also one. Yeah, I thought there were about 2 or something. That's basically dried out, even though I've never used it because it came like that in the pack. Who knows what happened? So that one I'll also just keep to the side, make a note of that. V09 Violet. Ooh, this one's getting dark. You can still see the number. Only have 3 left. Like I said, I don't have too many of the purples, unfortunately. BV04 Blueberry. Not a blueberry, but a blueberry. What did I say? BV04. Quite fitting though for a blueberry, but it's a blueberry, not a blueberry. And second to last one, BV23 Grayish Lavender. There. And the last one, quite dark one here, BV08 Blue Violet, at least on the cap it is, BV08. The number's not too high. Oh, it is a bit dark. Does it still work with the number? Yeah, I think so. Those are the purple ones. Moving on to the kind of brown and skin tone ones. And I have a fair few of them as well. So, starting with E43, Dull Ivory. E, I'm thinking we need to move over here. Yep, E is the very last column there, except for this area, obviously. What did I say? E43 up here. We got Milky White E51. That's a nice skin color. We have Cotton Pearl E00. E21, Soft Sun. E21 moving down. E11. This is the one with the funny name because it's barley beige, but my brain always wants to tell me that it's barely beige, not barley, but I don't know. It just makes more sense in my head if it was barely beige. Who knows? E13, Light Suntan. Right underneath. That's quite a nice description as well. A name, Light Suntan, just slightly tanned. E31, Brick Beige. Moving down, down, down. Seriously, I'm only swatching these. How am I getting ink on my fingers already? You just can't help it, can you? E33 Sand. Moving down, down, down. This is another one that's not working. Oh, that's really... Actually, I think it feels like this doesn't snap on properly. Yeah, it doesn't. So that's probably why it's dried out before I even got it. This is fully rock hard because this end, the chisel nib, doesn't snap on properly. So yeah, there's basically nothing in this. Another dud. So that one I'm thinking I don't just need a refill, I need a completely new marker because obviously if I fill it, the same thing would just happen again. E35, what was I going to say 6? E35 Chamois. E35. E57 Light Walnut. Next column, what did I say? 57. E57. Y26 Mustard. Y. So we are going back over towards the left here. Y, what did I say? 26. Down. There. Oh, chisel. Y26. This is definitely a mustard. Yep, fitting name. We have YR24 Pale Sepia. So again, moving a column to the left. What did I say? YR24. YG91 Putty. I've got green on that. Let's blend that out a bit. E09 Burnt Sienna. E09. Up, up, up. E39 Leather. Down, down, down. That's the very last one on the bottom here. Just got a few browns left. E37 Sepia. Dark Suntan. E15. I think, didn't we have a light suntan earlier or something like that? So this is slightly darker one, I guess. And now we got 3 left, and these 3 are quite dark, especially 2 of them. So let's see how that goes. E44 Clay. E44 on the last column here. This one, yeah, I'm going to say it should be fine. Actually quite clay-like, so that's a good name. Now the last 2, the first one is E29 Burnt Number. Now according to the number, it shouldn't be too bad. It just, the cap looks very dark. How the heck does this happen, eh? Anyway, E29, that'll be fine. It's not too bad. Should still be able to see the number with this. We have E49 Dark Back. That is quite dark. Oh, let's see. Will this work? Oh, this is probably the trickiest one yet. I think it should still be alright. I could always choose. I feel like I've got to strain a bit too much to try and see. I can always do it anyway if I want to, but it should be alright with this one, I would say. Right, so those were the browns. We've only got 2 compartments left, and they're basically the greys, which are separated into 2 depending what kind of grey. Let's start with the cool greys. So we have C2 Cool Grey number 2, and that's why we move all the way to this kind of separate little area because those are the greys. So C2, that's this one, nice and light grey that. So we're going to have the cool greys, warm greys, and then also neutral, and that's obviously C is cool, the N is neutral, and the W is warm. Next we have C1 Cool Grey number 1, fitting name. C1 N1 neutral grey number 1. So that's a neutral grey one, and one is this one. The names for the greys are a little bit less inventive. It's kind of like obvious, but that's fine. If anything, that sometimes makes it a little easier, I guess. C1, so cool grey. No, why did I say 1? C0. I was thinking I just did that. Don't tell me I screwed up. I didn't, I think. So also these greys are very close to each other. There's just slight variation. N3, so a neutral grey. N3. C3. Oh, this is also a dud. Okay, I have more duds than I thought I did. It also feels very hard. I'm guessing that's the same. Yeah, so that's another dud. We have 4 now. That's more than I thought. C4. That's a shame because I'm building up all of them there, but then that one not working. Kind of screwing with it. Messing it all up. But I just got to check out though. I know one of them was because of the cap, so that one I'm going to have to get a new marker. Question is just the other ones whether I just need refills or whether it's also getting a new marker for them. C5. I would really be building up like the whole row here, but except that one, that was a dud. N5. Getting a bit darker here. C6. If it wasn't for that dud, it also creates a really nice gradient like this. You can just kind of see them all next to each other. We have C9, and now this is quite a dark one. It's almost at the bottom as well. So let's see how dark that is. If we're going to need a gel pen or something. You can still see it, but again, could always choose to do it anyway. Then we have N7. C10. Oh, this is the last one on that row. So that's going to be quite dark, I think, according to the cap as well. Right, you can still see it if you look pretty hard, but we have 2 left. First one, C8. So the question is whether I can maybe get away with all of them, maybe probably minus the black. Obviously, unless I want to make it a little bit easier to see and then do it on some of them anyway. Last one, N9. Wait, well, I already did that. Okay, so I have a C9 here, which I haven't filled in. So I think I did C9 where N9 is. So I messed up. Lovely. It's not the worst one, I guess, to mess up. Let's just double check. N9. So this is supposed to go where I already filled it out. So let's just redo the C9 first, which is this one. So I did the C in the N. Well, that makes sense. They are pretty close, so I don't really think that's going to be too much of a problem. Let's just put this on top. Now the question is, does this make it too dark to now be able to see it? Now you can still see it just ever so slightly. So those were the cool and some neutral grays. And this is then what I have left. So basically warm grays, and then of course there's black, I guess white-ish. And then also the Colorless Blender, which there's not really a point in swatching, is there? But anywho, I guess why not? So we have Zero Colorless Blender, which is down here. Let's just swatch it, shall we? Ooh, that looks lovely. Very true to the cap. Yeah, that's a nice name. That's fitting. Anyway, E40 Brick White. So that's back to the E's. 40, 40, 40, the top. This is also going to be very light, I think. Oh, you can still see it all right. We have E45 Pearl White. Why did I say 45? It's E41. Oh my goodness, it's too early. I only just got up not long ago. Then we are moving to the warm grays. We have warm gray 3, so W3. Back to the gray area. W1. W5, working our way downwards. Oh, we now have a cool grey. I think that's got mixed up. C7. W7. W7, back to the warm. W9, we're getting really dark again. We have 2 left. One is black. Let's do that last. We have Special Black. 110. So that's down here as well with that Colorless Blender. This is the Special Black. 110. I don't know what makes that special as opposed to the regular black, but these ones I'm assuming I'll have to do the gel pen or something because it is black, obviously. Actually, you can still see it slightly. I think because the markers aren't 100% opaque. So obviously they blend into the paper. So, oh, that looks not great. The black, that doesn't look promising. Oh, that's right crusty. What the heck? It still seems to have ink, but the actual nib is really crusty. I don't know if you can see that, but weird. So the question is, if this has ink and still works, well then maybe I just need to get a new nib for it. So this is just the regular black, literally just black at 100. Now this one I would say, I actually thought it would be the other way around, that the 110 special black maybe would be darker than the regular black because I don't know, the special, maybe that's what's special about it. But that one you can actually see. Now this one that I just did, just the plain black, I can't really see that. So you could say maybe I don't need to because I know that's the black one. But that's maybe one where I would need to put the wet gel pen on if I choose to. You can see a slight hint of something, but you can't really see what it is. But like I said, it is just the black, so maybe I don't need to after all. So yeah, that's all the markers that I currently have. Like I said, this is 2 sets of the large ones, A and B. So I just need to get more sets to fill out the whole thing. Hopefully some point soon I could get C. That would like to be the next one that I get. So these were the duds, you could say. At least one of them I'll have to just replace the whole marker, but the rest I just have to check out and figure out what's kind of going on. If I can just refill them and maybe one get a new nib. But otherwise then that's a question when I just look at that. But this was then just filling in my chat finally. So I've been wanting to do this for ages now, because what I normally do when I make a piece, I'll swatch the markers as I go to make sure that's the color I want to use. And obviously if you keep doing that, that's going to use up more of the ink, which I want it to last as long as possible. So I kind of thought, I think I should do a chart finally, so I can kind of just reference that instead of swatching every single time I use them. So this will be nice. I'm going to put this in a plastic sleeve as well to keep it safe. I hope you enjoyed swatching along with me. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.